Now, let's look at the issues surrounding herdsmen-farmers clash in Nigeria, which has remained a major issue. If you go to Benue, if you go to Plateau State, if you go to Nasarawa State, there are issues, things that some people have not been able to say, this is exactly what's going on. But what we know is that a lot of people are dying, a lot of people have been killed, a lot of people have been expelled from their homes. And so this morning we'll be talking to those who should know, those who are, in the face of it. We'll be going to our Abuja studios. We have a former High Commissioner to Canada and President of African Leader Institute in the United States, Professor Yorwuese Hagher, and a National Publicity Secretary, Mieti Allah Kauta Ho Fulani Social-Cultural Association, Honorable Yusuf Musa Ado. Thank you both for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, now let me start with let me start with you. The issues in Benue State and a lot of other states, but Benue seems to be, the one in the eye of the storm right now. What do you think is actually going on? There's been a lot of talks around, yes, it is not herdsmen, it is mercenaries, it is... What do you think is really going on concerning herdsmen and farmers? Hello? The question again.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, take the question. You said, what do I think is going on between herdsmen and cattle herdsmen
and
the farmers in Benue?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, viewers, and thank you very much for the privilege to be speaking to Channels Television today on what is happening and what I think is going on in Benue. It's not just Benue. What is going on is that the state, Nigeria, is totally on the verge of collapse. There is struggle, there is fighting, there are kidnappers, there are armed robbers, there's so much that is happening. The government, which should have the monopoly of the means of coercion, the weapons with which to enforce peace and security, is being challenged by non-state actors, and it's all over the country. And most noticeable of this have been the herdsmen. They are conflicted in almost every state. So it's not just Benue. It's not a Benue issue. The Nigerian state is being challenged now more than ever before to give the fundamental purpose for which democracy is established, to protect the lives of the citizens. This is foremost, this is cardinal, this is the most important assignment for any government. And therefore, it just happens that Benue represents the most recent phase of a gruesome genocide. And I say genocide advisedly because it is right. Genocide is both psychological, is both physical, is both mental. There has been a build-up to the Benue genocide. A state government worried over the continuous problems of the state between herdsmen and farmers. And it didn't start during the Buhari regime. No, it predated him. In fact, it has been a problem that came about as a result of several factors, including the fact that the Sahara Desert is encroaching southwest, and so the herdsmen are in dire need of water and grass, food for their cattle. And we need herdsmen, but we also need food. So Nigeria is faced with a serious problem of food security, where the main people that produce food for this country are at war with one another. And therefore, what is going to be lost will be food security. It's not a Benue issue, it's a Nigeria issue. And the fact that over the years, the federal government, the state governments did not address this problem. And it lingered and festered and lingered and festered. There was so much delay. Governments came, politicians took advantage, and all they ever did was to satisfy that 1% that has continued to eat fat on the fat of the nation without giving us a program, an economic program for this country. So all we have are slogans and platitudes and means of winning elections, and when it comes to governance, nil. So the government of Benue State consulted with the people of Benue. How can we solve this problem? They decided and enacted a law saying that every single person who has cattle that roam and stray into people's farm deliberately or not deliberately, leading to conflicts and often to death of the farmers. It's usually the herders that come from somewhere else that enter into the farms of the farmers in Benue, and then they eat the crops. And then the farmers complain, and then they are killed. And this has continued. The killing is grotesque, the killing is chilling, the killing is cold-blooded, it's premeditated because they walk into these farms and they come with arms ready to take over the farms.
Yeah.
And over the years, there has been a progressive genocide. Farms have been taken over, land is taken over as people are being killed, the herders move in and take over. In fact, colonize, an interesting word which the federal government has again introduced. So what has happened is that the people of Benue, a federating unit, decided to make laws which they have a right to make. And the laws did not just come about. It was in total consultation with the people of Benue. And the Benue, having made the laws, were immediately challenged by Miyetti Allah.
Professor Hagher.
And these people said that the people in Benue, particularly the Tiv, do not own the land. They went about committing an intention to genocide by incitement.